Last December I did a video about sowing seeds, and it's getting to that time of year when seed collecting is something that you might want to do. I have a number here, and I've got some from Blue Dancer which I collected probably about 3 weeks ago when they were just ready to fall. Have a look. Hi, just been walking around the garden on this beautiful late September evening and noticed that on some of the early flowered Clematis there are a lot of seed heads forming. This is Blue Dancer. I've written an envelope. It's a something that we got bulbs in earlier in the week, and look at these large fluffy seed heads that come away in your hand. Now, I'm not going to sow seeds at the moment, but if we get any wind, these will be well and truly dispersed and I'll lose them. So I'm going to take quite a few of them now and save them until next month. Now, the seeds of Blue Dancer are small. I'll pull one off so that you can see it more clearly. Drop the bag. Take the tail off, and there's the seed. A tiny thing, but it's swollen, it's ripe, and that will germinate. Now, it's most unlikely that these have been pollinated from the same plant. Far more likely that the bees have been to other plants, so this has been cross-pollinated. It won't therefore come true to the parent plant, and we'll get a different sort of Clematis. And these seeds should germinate, so in a couple of years' time I'll be able to see what we've got. I'll collect some more when I've picked my bag up. In addition to Blue Dancer, I have Helios, Amber, Pamela Jackman, and I also have some packets of seed that I got from the British Clematis Society Seed Exchange. If you want to grow a lot of Clematis from seed, join a society because there's a wide range of different seeds available. But if you have a lot of Clematis in your garden, collect your own. Probably growing plants from seed is one of the most satisfying things a gardener can do. And it's amazing when you sow a seed. It's hard to think that it will grow into a large plant, but that's what happens. Clematis take a bit of time to do that, and I've been growing from seed for a number of years. There are a number of articles on the web that you can read about growing from seed. You can watch videos, including the one that I made. But I came across one the other day from a gentleman called Robert Pavlis, who lives in southern Ontario, and he runs a 6-acre private botanic gardens. And his theory is that there's not enough research available for people to be sure how best to grow Clematis from seed. He's boiled it down from the research he does to Clematis need somewhere warm, they need somewhere dark, and you should take the tails off for best chance of germination. Clematis will germinate whatever you do, I think. But I thought I would try this. I was particularly interested in his theory that they need somewhere warm, because normally Clematis seed is put outside. Some people believe they need a winter of cold or even 2 winters of cold before they germinate. So I thought I'd do some comparisons of my own. And what I have here, traditional method of sowing them in a plant pot and growing them in a bag with some vermiculite. Both are very simple to do. You need very little equipment, and we'll start with the Blue Dancer. First, the traditional method with compost. Just filling a pot to near the top, leaving about ½ an inch. One of his other pieces of advice was that the tails should come off. I've never been sure whether it was worth doing this, but if he thinks that it's an aid to germination, and those are the seeds there, I'll cut the seeds from the tails. I'll put about a dozen seeds in each pot so that they have room to grow some roots before they're potted on. And I'll just cover the compost with some gravel so that when I water it, the seeds don't move around. And the gravel also means that the seeds are going to be in darkness. Just some water from this bottle, and I'll let that soak through. Now we're going to put that in a polythene bag. This is a mini greenhouse. They won't need watering again. I'm going to keep them out of sunlight, but I'm going to keep them outside. Let me write on the bag the name. And the date, 29th of October 2020. Now this bag is a good fit. Oh, first time. I normally struggle to get these lined up and closed. Now that will go in a very small racked greenhouse that I have, which is in shade. I will be able to see what progress is being made through the polythene without opening it. But these will probably take a year or 18 months to germinate. Blue Dancer is one of the early flowering Clematis. It's an atrogene. It doesn't require quite the length of time that some do, but it's not as quick as the Montanas, for example. So that's one method of sowing seed. The next method that I want to show you involves a small bag and some vermiculite. Now vermiculite is a mineral which has been treated to a very high temperature and is sterile. It has no properties that will feed the Clematis. It's just a medium that is hygienic, that you can keep seeds in. And if I part fill this bag, that's probably about enough. And I've taken the tails already off this Blue Dancer to save time. And I've taken most of the tails off. And I'll scatter some seeds in there. And I'll just turn it over, shake it around to make sure that the seeds are covered, and add some water. It doesn't need to be too wet. You can push the vermiculite around until all of it is clearly damp, but you don't want running water in the bottom. And again, this is like a mini greenhouse. See the vermiculite almost like a paste there. Zip the bag closed and label it. Now the advantage of this method over the traditional method is that when seedlings come up in here, you generally have to either dig them out or tip up the whole pot to get the seedlings. But seedlings germinate at a different rate. These could germinate over the course of 6 months. And what this allows you to do is to delicately take out each seedling as it germinates and pot it up and reseal the bag so that later germinations are not lost. It also means you can keep this inside if you want. It's not as messy, it won't take up as much room. I've germinated from a bag like this by, well, I accidentally just left one in our office on top of a bookshelf and found that I had a rash of seedlings after a few months. What I'm going to do with this, just to prove the experiment, is I'll do a few of these. I'll keep some outside and I'll keep some inside, and I'll use different clematis seeds of the same varieties inside and out, and we'll just see which ones do best. All will germinate, but some will germinate quicker than others, I think. And it's a way of just discovering the preferred method for the future for me. So that's the bag method. So this is where I keep my seeds, and I check this regularly to see if they've germinated. As I said before, it's out of the sun, but it does get light. Here are the two that I've just sown today. The top shelf is 2020, 2019, and I've got I've got two left from 2018. So I'll put today's sowings in there, the bag and the traditional method, and I'll do another bag and have it inside, and we'll compare results. Just while you're here though, when I opened it, I noticed that this 2019 sowing of Richard's Piketty, which is a Viticella, has at least one seedling coming through. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll take it out. Now there are 2 pots in here and only one so far has germinated. So I'll probably just put that back in the bag and leave it for now, and we'll see if we get any more germinations before winter. So that's safely back in there, and I'll leave there. I'll check the other seeds in the next few days. It does happen that sometimes before the end of the year germinations will start, but I expect most of those to occur next year. I'll just put the zip down to keep the rain off. And that's seed sowing. You can try this at home. If you have any questions about sowing seed, I have a website. Post them on my YouTube channel and I'll do my best to answer them. Stay safe and happy gardening.